Welcome to the DSQ podcast with Blake Lawson and Dakota Reynolds.
Texas! Yeah, we're just kidding. We hate Texas here.
Yeah, no. As an newly official Oklahoma resident, fuck Texas, horns down. Fuck Texas. I really don't care. Yeah, Austin Grand Prix, United States Grand Prix officially, because there's not 3 of those now, but
Yep.
It's the United States Grand Prix hosted in Austin, Texas. Fun times. The first U.S. Grand Prix of the modern F1 schedule. Best one, in my opinion.
COTA Circuit of the Americas. Austin, Texas. Busy weekend in Austin, speaking of the football. Also, we finally revealed, I guess we are in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I guess that's...
You haven't been able to place it at this point.
Yeah.
The little breadcrumbs that lead you here. It's the worst. It's the worst Hansel and Gretel little lead on ever. Well, I don't know.
Little breadcrumb trail, yeah. I don't know.
But yes, the first COTA in a while, at least, without Daniel Ricciardo. Officially, now that we know it. God, Red Bull, you guys handled that fucking awfully.
That was terrible. Why? I had so many high hopes from last week. Like, surely not. Like, everyone's handling this so poorly. All of the commentary team is being such a group of assholes about it. No, they knew what we didn't know. That's absolutely stupid.
Yes. Also, there's probably a little bit of background noise right here. Hopefully I can edit it out. I don't know. There's a washing machine going. I kind of forgot to pause it before we started. Anyway, as we move into it, there was some stuff that happened before the weekend started. I mean, obviously the Danny Rick and...
I mean, we've had 3 whole weeks to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
So we had a whole lot of stuff going on.
But, of course, yeah, the Danny Rick thing, we know now for sure that was his last race. That, again, really shitty way to handle that. Good job, guys. You suck. Liam Lawson, of course, has set up his. Important note, he is not confirmed for next year. This is his tryout. So he was 6, now 5 races to prove that he should get a seat next season.
I mean, to be fair, if he can pump out 5 more races like he had this one, he might be confirmed for next year. Yeah. But we'll get to that.
But so some of the stuff, Alpine is going to go ahead and shut down their engine program in house, so they will be a engine customer from 2026 probably.
Probably around about RIP.
I don't know if they're switching next year, but I think they're still. But yeah, no 2026. Yeah, I mean, sad for the people, but I hear they're already pretty much every team is going to try to grab who they can.
I mean, I don't blame them.
So
get as many people as you can that can do the shit you need done.
Probably the biggest one is no fastest lap point starting next season onward.
I hate this. Despite the anger that I'm going to have later in the episode, I actually hate this change, especially due to the fact that I'm working. I had one session where I worked on it and then stopped working on it for like months now. But I was sort of creating like a little Excel spreadsheet thing to sort of like help me throughout the season, be like, okay, well, this is when this person's eliminated, this is when this person's eliminated, all of that stuff. Finally got it to working and everything, have the fastest lap figured into it, and now it's not going to be there. Thanks FIA, thanks.
I mean, caused some issues in Singapore, I guess, technically, I don't know. Caused as you said, foreshadowing to it, caused us some anger today. Yep, that'll be going. I think Lando said it in his. He's like, it was fine. I don't know why we're changing it.
Always got to change something. Got to make it more exciting, more
extra,
enticing to people to watch.
Extra 24 points. Just didn't want to deal with it, I guess.
I guess.
Whatever. And then the only kind of pre-weekend thing, this was more at track, was the whole bib adjustment thing with the Red Bull that people are freaking the fuck out about for no reason. one part has been compliant this entire time. Red Bull's like, oh hey, we don't need this. Like, okay, cool. I mean, we can't do anything with it anyway unless we completely destruct the car, which breaks Parc Ferme anyway. So, yeah, huge non-issue, but Red Bull anger. We'll get to more of that here too.
Gotta make sure it's not too easy for Red Bull. Not that, they don't have generational talent on their team.
Yeah.
That could probably score points in a fucking kick Sauber.
I don't know.
We'll get to that later, too.
Yeah, that was kind of the break. The main highlights we wanted to quickly kind of gloss through over the break. To do something. Moving on. We'll do updates and liveries. I'll start with the liveries. Red Bull canceled theirs. Sound familiar? Like last race, 3 weeks ago? Yeah. So no special livery for Red Bull this time. McLaren bringing back their chrome, and the future is chrome.
Which apparently was a fan favorite, but
It was. They did run that because it was. I think they ran it 2 races in a row, but one being Silverstone, where last season they went from the McLaren sucks to oh hey McLaren's okay now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of their turnaround livery. So
I mean, fair enough on that one.
yeah, I mean it's chrome, I guess. I don't know. Alpine and their McLaren.
Yeah, Alpine with the McLaren livery. God, I didn't have any issues this week trying to differentiate the two, but I think the only reason I didn't have any issues is because they were so far apart on the track.
Well, at least one of them was.
Well,
Or they both were at the end, but one of them actually qualified up there like he was the McLaren.
Oh, yeah, no. As the very start of the race, I was like, wait a second, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Indiana Jones. I guess I kind of knew they were making a new movie, but I was like, okay, cool.
I've heard zero,
Yeah.
stuff about it being soon, so.
Other
To advertise it.
Other full livery, Haas kind of just did their same thing from last year.
America, Eagle, let's go!
Apparently it worked for him. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
And then Williams had a minor little add-on. If you're a fan of NFTs, gross.
I'm sorry for you.
But running with one of their title sponsors, their main partner is Kraken, some NFTs on the back of some very physical NFTs on the back of their rear wing.
So I have the Williams app, and they ran a competition for the past few weeks, probably a couple of months now at this point. Where they're like, hey, design your own thing, and then you might get it on the back of the thing. And then they did some voting, and those are the ones that won. So congrats to all those people. You should feel bad for participating in basically one big Ponzi scheme.
Seriously, how's the NFT thing still going on? Haven't we exposed
How?
over the last couple of years? I guess not.
It's a picture. Right-click, save image as.
All right. Yeah, so liveries. Yeah, kind of underwhelming-ish, like I said. You had a car that confused some people, NFT, and then America again, part 2.
And then canceled.
And canceled. And then nothing.
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 All right, and then leading into that are upgrades for the week. Really weird week. So we had 2 teams that did not have anything brought to the table upgrade-wise, which were Williams and Ferrari. Ferrari really doing well with that bringing no upgrades. Williams, plus and minus. The Red Bull teams brought some minor upgrades, little trim bits here and there, adjustments of trims, etc. I think I just said the same thing twice, but that's fine because there really wasn't a whole lot going on with those 2 teams. Everybody else had a whole lot of major upgrades. A couple of new front wing designs, redesigned floor, bodywork, the whole lot. Everybody had something. Yeah, it was really weird. I guess that's probably a usual thing with America is it's one of the upgrade tracks. Everyone brings upgrades to America. But it just felt really weird to have a really well-performing team not bring anything and perform really well, opposed to everybody else. For restricted number components this week, we have Carlos, Franco, K-Mag, and Nico all taking new full gearboxes, and it is the last of both items for each, so they are taking their 5th of 5. For power units, Liam, of course, taking Daniel Ricciardo's car, takes an
But not his engine, apparently.
not his engine.
Daniel
Brand
took
new
the
engine for you.
entire ICU system with him.
Liam is taking an entire new power unit, except for the exhaust over allotment. And then Charles and Pierre also took just the new exhausts. Pierre took his last of his 8, so he will possibly take a penalty, depending on if he can get through the remaining 5 races on 8 used exhaust systems. So we'll see how that goes. That's it. That's it for the upgrades and updates and all that jazz.
Yeah, not a lot. Don't know if everybody's like... I feel like we've had a lot of... that was probably a little too far away from there. I feel like we had a lot of teams who were like... did early season upgrades and degraded more than upgraded. Yeah. So maybe everybody's like... they're back on a positive development cycle and kind of like, okay, well, let's just run with this for a second. Or are kind of like... even though the championship is not set this early for the first time in a couple of years, maybe everybody else is already like, okay, let's get a good solid 2025, and then once Jan 1, we're in the new 2026 spec, so maybe everybody's kind of playing a little conservative on the upgrades right now.
I mean, I'll put it this way: it's not set, but it's pretty much set. Like you've got your final players.
Yeah,
we'll get to it. I made an oopsie last week, but we'll fix that this week.
That's it. I had a note here, but there was a development further, so we will skip that till after the race. Going into the one, it's a sprint weekend, so only one free practice session. May have had something to do with the upgrades, is not having a whole lot of time to test them as well.
Very true, very true.
Coda did get a slight resurface, like 70-80% of the track got resurfaced to try to fix some of the bumping we had last year.
Oh, so now we see where all of the road development for Texas has gone over the past year.
Yep.
Straight to Coda.
Mm-hmm. And the Austin Airport. It's always
and
under
Austin
construction.
Airport. Yep. Forgot about that.
And FP1, not so much of a, like I said, no upgrades, so just getting a feel for the track again. Maybe some foreshadowing. Lewis, big moment, spin into turn 4. George, same spot, almost does the same, does a little bit better control. Alex has a moment as well, not in the same spot, but so again, I think perfect foreshadowing for how Mercedes ended up this weekend. Now that looking at that note here after the race. So after that, just a quick little note I found funny because I haven't seen this one. Williams, both drivers missed the drivers' meeting after that.
Yep, they sure did. I remember reading over this and poring over it for a little bit.
They couldn't, and it wasn't even like an in-person. It was virtual. They just had to literally do it on their phones, and they both ended up missing it, I think. Did say, and they did not get in trouble. It was whatever supplier or their vendor, like, so T-Mobile or AT&T.
I'd like to think
interesting.
that Logan changed the passwords.
Yeah. It's the password. It's a PIN code. It's like how many feet are in a mile. And I was like, oh shit. So, but I guess one of them did get in. Didn't say which one got in, but one of them got in about halfway through. So, just a weird little kind of interesting, like, huh. Again, it's a kind of a not in-person meeting. You think you could kind of just, or like, oh hey, there's a problem. Let me just walk over to the steward's thing and be like, hey, my thing's not logging in. Can I just sit in here?
Just shows phone, just like, hey,
Oh man. But of course, it's a sprint weekend, so we head straight into SQ 1, 2, and 3. Which I have a note here. I kind of want this format for the regular quali. It's shorter, it's expedited, it's easier to knock out. Tiger thing, whatever, but I kind of like the shortened format.
I get why you would want that, but at the same time, I really feel like I wouldn't want that. It feels too quick to have as a regular quali ordeal. Like, just to me, which that may just be nostalgia from the couple of years prior as well, but just, I don't know. It feels too quick to have as a regular, like, hey, this is going to set your qualifying for the entire race weekend.
I mean, but one shot. I mean, they kind of did one shot. Well, when we get to regular quali, and
Well.
kind of screwed over a couple Red Bulls there. Yeah. SQ1. Big note as you wear your Williams jersey. Something that I think some people didn't notice for a little bit and now have kind of caught on. Alex and Franco had the exact same qualifying time for a second there, which was cool. And also the post of like, hey, now that there's a not Logan, is Alex looking as good?
I mean, listen.
Which, speaking of, Alex did have a spin in that. SQ1, that's all the notes I have. Out was Oscar. Probably the biggest surprise there. Esteban, boo. We'll get to that. Alex. And then, of course, Valtteri and Joe from the Steak.
Steak Sauber. Steak Kick Sauber. The third.
I know we both want them to get points, both because we like. I'm sure we don't dislike Joe, but we like Valtteri, so we want him to do well. And we both want the points for our predictions of every team getting a point. And I don't think it's happening. Today we had a little moment of hope that it might actually happen, but it quickly got dashed.
Yeah.
SQ2, Checo, out. I would say this is the big surprise, but is it a big surprise anymore?
He does not qualify well at all.
No, and I don't. It's like I want to, and I'm so sick of everybody. Everybody's like, "Oh, Checo shit," blah blah blah. I'm like, get new material. It's so you're like, there's steak exists, guys.
Things could be a lot worse.
Esteban Ocon is still in the series somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. But yeah, Checo, Lawson. Sucks for his first time out, but hey, still Q2, SQ2. Gasly, Stroll, and Alonso. Of course, Alonso and Lawson getting a little bit of, we'll say, generational misunderstanding on racing.
A misunderstanding. Alonso was throwing the full pinched hand gesture.
Yeah. But the big thing, K-Mag got through.
K-Mag!
Both Haas's got through.
Yeah, but Nico's almost expected to at this point. K-Mag!
So that's the good. It was Haas in America again. We'll get to that. I feel like all we're doing is foreshadowing to everything later. Like the first half of the podcast is just foreshadowing the second half of the podcast.
Yeah, the first half is just a bunch of Chekhov's guns being loaded.
Yep.
And then the remaining half is just all of them being fired.
Chekhov's chain gun.
Chekhov's chain gun or Chekhov's firing squad.
Yeah. SQ3, Colapinto does a little spin. It's like, hey, I want to see what it's like. There'll be more of that, not from him, but from everybody else, apparently. So, yeah, that's it. No. Yeah, your top 10 for the sprint. Colapinto making it through. Yuki's P9. Hamilton, P7. I hope he does good in the real quali.
I hope he does fantastic.
P6 for Hulkenberg. P5, Carlos. P4, Lando. Charles Leclerc. George Russell. And then back in his pole position. Welcome back, Max Verstappen. And Joe took a part, and he will drop 5 spots from his basically starting from the end anyway. That's your sprint quali. Now for the sprint. Quick little hour, third race distance. It's Coda. It was okay.
It's all right.
Yes. The top of this says, "Oh, okay, fan, so fuck Texas." Fortunate for you, Alex, pit lane start for some changes. Again, he was kind of out earlier, so not huge. He will do okay. Ferrari via Ferrari. We had some of that happening in sprint.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm just running through notes more than anything, so please definitely jump in on stuff you have.
You're good. Again, so this is the weird thing about having races that actually match the times when we're normally functioning throughout the day. The unfortunate part about that is I work on the days when all of this is going on, so I got to see the sprint itself, and I got to see the last 5 minutes of regular quali, and then I got to see the Grand Prix because I'm off today. So that's it. Everything else is just hearsay and conjecture.
That's what I didn't like. Yeah, especially and it was a 4:30 sprint quality on a Friday. So it was well, that's even leaving on time. I'm still missing everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, and not to mention I don't know why I struggled so much with the times this week. It's literally the same time zone. This is the easiest race to keep track of, and I somehow got it completely wrong on my little board. Anyway, sprint, Ferrari battling each other, practicing maybe for the race.
Another gun gets loaded.
Yep. Yuki and Checo had a good couple battles there. Checo did ultimately win that, but I think Yuki very much being why was my name not even being brought up anymore at this point?
Yeah.
And then Oscar pushes off Yuki. Loads gun even further. We'll get some more pushing off. He does get a penalty for that. I'm saying a lot. I am Oscar pastoring it, but good race. Final lap. Great race. Turn 1, Oscar. Little bit of a lock. Not a little bit of a lock. A serious lock. Allows Ferrari to gain ground, allows Charles to pass. Nope, sorry. Sainz to pass. Then Charles comes up, gets a little further down, or about halfway through. What is that, T14, 15?
Something like that.
Lando takes a super deep, super kind of slower than Charles was expecting. And we almost end up with Leclerc-Lando fusion, and it was pretty close.
I was our sprint podium was almost Max Carlos George.
Yeah. And I think it was more Charles didn't expect him to do what he was going to do there. I was I was fine with it not being a penalty. I saw a report somewhere that Charles was mad that it wasn't, and allegedly threw his helmet through the door at the stewards. So I guess Charles may have been a little more upset than the rest of us were about that.
He does not fuck smash my door.
Yeah. But your podium is Max, Carlos, and Lando surviving barely to get that. So Max is back on top of the podium. It's just a sprint. So maybe not so back, but he's here.
He's here. He's waving through the window.
Haas, double points.
In
the sprint, so 2 less points playing positions. That's pretty good.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Excuse me. I think after all this, Yuki once again, his team did not help Yuki out very much. It's come on, I can't anymore with this. It's that story of you guys never support me, you guys never help me. And I feel like that's what Yuki gets every now and then now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep. Penalties. Basically, the penalty. I don't think the penalty did anything. I said I have a note. Oscar equals K-Mag because he got his penalty. It was just going off on just nope. My race is now to destroy. Even though he didn't destroy anybody. Making sure I ran out of space, so I kind of had notes tacked on. Kind of weird thing, I guess, is after on the in lap for everybody, Valtteri, I don't know, I never actually went back and looked at what happened, but everybody's going to it's the podium, it's sprint podium, so it's not that big of a deal. No national anthems. You get a little plaque from some, I think it was a U.S. Olympian. I cannot remember his name. He was on the post show today. I know that. We hit double yellows in sector 15. You look on the tracker, and there's Valtteri's little dot just stuck there. I'm like, that's interesting. So after on the in lap, he did something to make his car catch fire, apparently. So more just, and once again, Valtteri is running upgrades on the car.
That was the Carlos fuel smell.
Yeah.
Not the gun.
There's so many Chekhov guns right now. But I mean, I think that was funny. Not funny, but
not ha funny,
but like this an epitome of steak. It's like, man, even the post race, you can't get the lap right. Again, we love Valtteri, and of course, so on my constant, I'm not a Lando Norris fan for this season because he has been acting not like a world championship driver, and he's 3 wins and is acting like, whatever. He did this. I was like, he definitely made a mistake that cost him the P2 for sure, and almost cost him a lot more. He was a lot better in his post race. He still smiles and didn't blame anybody. He's like, yeah, it was a mistake I made, whatever. That's growth. We like to see it. Kudos, Lando. I hope his fan base follow suit, please. But I don't know, after the GP, we'll see how this goes.
Sorry, I'm having to do some quick edits because I forgot to add in points from the sprint race into my check-in list.
Yeah.
I forgot that was a thing that they get added to.
Yep.
Anyways.
Hey, we should they should do an extra point for the fastest lap in sprints.
They take it away from the Grand Prix, but they put it in the sprint.
Yeah, exactly.
I would give up. I would just give up.
That sounds like something they would do, though. Does it not?
That does. Unfortunately.
And Saturday. Well, that was Saturday. Later Saturday. 5 o'clock Saturday, actually.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Yep. We have another qualifying session. At this point, is sprint just a... actually, let me back up. Was a good line from Max. Gunter Steiner, of course, our favorite, doing the post-sprint interviews. Gunter asking Max why he's so good at the sprint races. He's like, oh, because I hate them, and I don't know why we're doing them. So I feel like that was a good little stab line at them. But he didn't curse, so we're good. God, do you think that FI was sweating because it was Max and Gunter?
Between the two of them, there's going to be some expletives.
Yeah.
That's updated.
On to qualifying for the Sunday, the main United States Grand Prix. Again, we didn't have a whole lot of incidents or anything in the first two. Again, we'll get to the third one here. I didn't write down the top 3. I didn't need to write down the top 3. I know what the top 3 are. First quali out. Both stakes. Shocker.
Gasp.
Both Williams, which is kind of actually maybe a little more surprising now. It's like, you don't expect that. And Lewis Hamilton not having a very good weekend. Just not on it. Complaining with the car. Doing something after the sprint race that did not suit Lewis's driving. This is the worst COTA, or USGP in general, but definitely COTA he has ever had.
From the person who won it 7 times?
Yep.
6 times? 7?
6 times.
6.
Because I think they was going, oh, this could be his 7th.
Gotcha.
As you were saying, like, from P19. Turned out to be P17, but we'll get there.
Yep.
Q2, your AlphaTauri boys. They go out. And then you're not surprising Lance Stroll and Esteban Ocon. And then Nico. His first time not getting Q3 in a while.
What?
Because Haas be that way right now.
Listen, they're trying their best.
I mean, it was pretty good this week. Q3. Now this is where we get into it. George fucking Russell.
George Russell! George, he just turned in on me, Russell.
Mm-hmm. George, I just turned it on myself and spun into the gravel in the wall. Russell. Of course, everybody had their banker laps in. Max went out. I feel like Max went out pretty early. Yeah. Lando went out a little later. Track evolution. Sano tends to get better. And yes, this is the risky run of doing a last lap at the very last possible minute. But Max on a lap. Everybody, it's
on the lap.
The lap. Like, it would have been a good lap. Unless he completely, just forgot how to drive in Sector 3. It was going to be pole. It was going to be maybe record-setting, potentially. I don't know. And then as the checker comes out, 2-1, there goes George Russell.
My God, that man is broken in half.
Yeah. The timing's too perfect.
Yeah, but then what's the play there? His car's fucked. He can't help Lewis. Lewis is in P19 at this point. It's just Russell driving poorly.
Yep. Maybe Crofty. I can't remember if I was listening to the. Sure, they had the international feed up. I can remember. I don't remember Crofty saying, "And there goes the cheers of the crowd." So maybe he said it under his breath by accident. But yep, George motherfucking Russell.
George, I can only drive in a straight line. Russell
keeps his boy Lando Norris on pole position. Which then I got the stat that the last 4 USGPs that pole pretty much loses in turn 1. I'm like, oh, never mind. This is perfect for Lando. This is what he does. So yes, of course, George's car is right fucked up. So he's starting from the pit. Liam's got his 6,000 place fucking grid penalty from Daniel. So he's starting way at the back. So.
And then Joe took his penalty in this one, not the previous one. Yeah. Joe's was a...
but it's breaking Parc Fermé in the sprint.
I think his was... So his wasn't Parc Fermé. His was allotment.
Oh, okay.
He exceeded allotment, which is the next race, the next Grand Prix. And so he takes the 5-place grid penalty in the race. And then Liam has a 60-place penalty, so he has 15 plus, so he starts behind everyone else. And then George, who obviously his car is foobar, so he's starting from the pits. So here's your 18th, 19th, and 20th on the grid. So, which bumps Lewis up to 17th. And Valtteri Bottas, starting from probably his highest start in a while, at P16. Valtteri and Lewis, just like old times. Traditions.
Speaking of traditions, let's talk about lap 1.
Lap 1, turn 1.
Lando Norris down to 4th. Lewis Hamilton up to 12th.
Yeah.
Chuck Leclerc up to P1. And Alex Albon spun out Ocon. He didn't. It was Lance. We all saw the replay. I don't know why. Besides the fact, I guess race control just wanted to give Alex the most investigations per driver.
Apparently, yeah. 10 investigations or 10 whatever's actions per him. Technically, it was Alex who made first contact, but then Lance made the second contact on him and continued the spin. I was like, Alex tapped him, Lance pit him. No, it was an insane start for several people. I was like, Lewis and Lawson were both up 5 places. Charles was up 3 to take the lead, and Zhou was up 3. Zhou Guanyu was up 3 places. He was in P14. P14. We could have a stake points finish.
But first, we had to find an old friend. Someone who we've lost since July. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, Bert in the safety car.
Woo! Welcome back, Bert!
Lap 2, Lewis to just put the icing on the cake of what has just been one of his most miserable weekends in racing. Just
Loses it.
oversteer.
Loses it. Puts it in the gravel.
Yep. And just there's like one little moment where he does lurch and maybe he can unbeach it. Nope.
Nope. It's dug in. It's done.
2 laps and we're done for the day, boys.
All that prep work.
So, good old friend Bert is back, and I think they just didn't want to ship the safety car over to Europe, so they just kept it here. Just drove it down. That's actually where Bert's been this entire time. He's been driving it. I don't know why it took him, 4 months to get it from Montreal to Austin, Texas, but he did. But yep, our safety car, and it wasn't a long one. It was like, 2 laps?
No, Lewis spun it on lap 2. That was towards the end of lap 2. It was like turn 19, turn 20 grouping.
He was lap 2. I think the front of the pack was actually lap 3.
Yeah, so it was 3 laps worth of safety car conditions. Safety car termed on lap 6. Lap 6 they got racing. So maybe 2, maybe 3. It's a long track. It's like a 1.5-minute lap at racing speeds. So.
And then. Sorry about the yawns.
It's 9 o'clock at night. It's past his bedtime.
Yeah.
It's actually 10 o'clock at night. It's past his bedtime.
Yeah. God, somehow having a race on our own time is somehow worse.
Right? Again, there's less time in the day to do stuff.
So restart, man, Max knows that safety car. Because when he's not leading it, he still knows when to take that. Because he read Charles's restart like a fucking book. He was on him. Didn't amount to anything, but he read it beautifully. And then,
You want to talk about old friends?
Go for it. I was like, all my thing is penalty.
Oh yeah,
penalty.
no, this
Okay.
leads into it. Lap 13/14. I don't remember which, and after this point, I stopped looking at the lap numbers because they kept giving the investigations for them like 4 laps later, and I just wasn't keeping track anymore. That's like 10 minutes. So, Russell found his good friend Valtteri Bottas, forced him off the track, took himself a 5-second penalty. George and Toto were complaining about it over the radio. George giving his best
Kimi.
Yeah, his best Kimi Räikkönen. For what?
Just what?
What? And Toto being like, oh, that was such a joke or whatever. He literally touched Bottas's car. Like, his
He
rear
touched
wheels.
the boat.
He touched the boat.
Test.
They touched Martin. No, his back wheel hit Valtteri's car ever so slightly. They touched. You forced him off track. Period. So there's that penalty. And then 5-second penalty for Gasly for leaving track and gaining an advantage.
Oh, we'll get to it, guys. Don't worry. We're going to get to it.
I don't know what point this is in the in the race. I guess it's this way for the rest of it. So is it some point before lap 42? Because that's the next time I have something wrote down, which was not this. But I put Albon had 5 noted incidents at that point. They wanted to put my boy in jail, and they could not make the charges stick. No, most of those incidents were other people's fault.
Yeah.
Whether it be like Yuki or Ocon being in the wrong place at the wrong time, etc. But yeah, no, it was funny looking up after hearing a little bloop bloop from Multiviewer and seeing another little icon pop up by Alex Albon's name. Just 5 straight incidents for him, and then just like 1 each for a bunch of other people. Insane. Absolutely insane. Tsunoda, of course, takes a 5-second penalty for forcing Alex off the track. I didn't note that it was Alex, but I knew that it was Alex because I remember that one.
I did note it was Alex. I didn't know who Pierre's was.
I
I guess it would also be Alex.
think that was also while racing.
God, he's got
Alex.
bullied. It was just bully Alex Day. It's all it was.
Oh yeah, no, it absolutely was bully Alex Day. Alex had a rough time of it today, you know. Your boy Yuki spun it. Lap 42, turn 1.
Sure did.
Yep.
Wasn't the only one. Joe also did his little spinny boy.
Oh yes, Joe absolutely. Yeah, that was well before that. I just kind of glossed over that, and I didn't have it noted. But yeah, Joe immediately dashed our hopes and went from P14 to P19.
To P nothing. Like, just gone.
And pretty much just gone, yeah. Unfortunately, deported back to China.
He'll be racing with Checo and the Guangdong Tigers next year.
Let's see. There was, okay, so for like the last 10 laps, there was super fucking intense racing.
Yep.
Between Max and Lando.
For the last podium place.
Oh yeah, for the last podium
Yeah,
place.
no, Ferrari is down the fucking road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Like
congrats.
5
Congrats,
seconds,
Ferrari.
8
Woo!
seconds. We've already
Yep.
got the checkered flag out for Charles. It's already done.
Yeah, Charles and Sainz, they got it. Cool. Yeah, nobody cares.
Max and Lando, on the other hand,
Besides
wheel
Max.
to wheel, going through the S's, fucking just sending it on each other, and maybe sending it a little too hard there, bud. But you know, 5-second penalty for Norris for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Let's talk about it.
Yes. Let's start with the thing of this was the most weird penalized race. It was what was a penalty? It seemed, I agree with everybody that said it's inconsistent. Like, you can't look at this. Now, there's a lot of screenshots going around, and I think full context is important here because this is racing. It's a movement sport, so a screenshot is not going to do justice for your argument. Let's go.
I think number 1, Max is pointed off track. Whether or not you think that Lando was entitled to that space or not, Max was not making that corner.
No, he was going through lane.
He was going through Lando.
Yeah.
He was racing in an unsafe manner. Number 2, they both went off track. So if any advantage was gained for one, an advantage was also gained for the other. I feel like at the very least there shouldn't have been the penalty. I don't necessarily think that there should have been a penalty for Max, even though kind of unsafe what he did. But I don't think there should have been a penalty for Lando on that.
People are going to point to McLaren saying they should have gave the spot back. The problem was he could have got penalized both ways of either track limits or the leaving the track to gain an advantage. So, yeah, I mean, it kind of was on McLaren. As much as I hate the McLaren, how much bullshit is going on with like, oh, McLaren has cost Lando the race. Oh, he's cost him the championship. Oh, it's all McLaren's fault. No. This one, yes. this one cost could have potentially done that. Yeah, I mean, I think anybody who wants consistency from the FIA is correct to want that, but also, yes, this was a very inconsistent race-wise, but also let's look at the history of the stewards. It's a short view back to the past of Abu Dhabi 2021. Or several other races this season where people have gotten penalized and people have done the same thing worse.
Yeah.
And not. Or Oscar's penalty from the sprint. Or K-Mag's penalty from Miami. But I'm happy with it because I'm on the side that won, so.
It
benefits me, so
I
fuck
don't
it.
care. I don't care about either of these two people. You know what? Good racing is good racing. I want to see a good fight for the end. I don't care about either of these two.
Hell, I
just think objectively, from what I saw, I don't think there should have been a penalty.
I was like, hey, fuck it. Let's just DSQ both of them. Screw it.
DSQ both.
Oscar, let's go.
Points up for a couple other people. Move Oscar up into podium position. I do want to get into that whenever we get into the check-in, but that's going to be an interesting championship decider scenario.
This is going to be a long episode. Well,
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit long. But again, the last one should have been a touch longer, and I forgot to do that. So
I was like, we're sitting here with the timer up. I'm like, we're making good time. And I'm like, but this last part is kind of more.
Yeah.
We got more talky as each line went through. But yes. So penalty. Again,
penalty
tweet
gets
off.
knocked down.
Or blue sky, I guess now. I guess everybody's jumping to blue sky now.
Yeah.
Again. Hey, remember Hive?
I do remember Hive Social. Hive Social. I'm on Mastodon now, by the way, guys. Hi, how's it going? I still haven't shut down my Twitter account. I need to do that.
My Twitter account is pretty much exclusively bitching about either F1 or NHL.
Maybe the straight up, I just don't want to
poking
give Elon the traffic anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the new block thing I think is really kind of shitty and also maybe a little bit illegal. So
yeah. Anyways,
that was my thing. I was like, yeah. Maybe I'll start to wind this down.
Yeah.
Also AI.
Also AI. Yeah. I think maybe within the week I will try to get my Twitter account shut down. But yeah, no. Mastodon, Blue Sky, etc. Find your alternative.
Yep.
Before it's too late.
Which just sucks because I kind of had a fucking fire video go off in the Steve Dangle Twitterverse last week. Like, I got like 12K fucking interactions on Twitter. Damn it. Which I should say was a complete tangent. The second that happened, I was getting like double the ads for premium and like for X premium and verification. I'm like, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Oh, but yeah. So anyway,
it
is what it is. There's still 5 more races. There's still plenty of drama to happen. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Can I talk about trophies? I want to talk about trophies. Can I talk about trophies?
We'll do that in like 2 seconds,
Okay.
Ted.
2 seconds,
Real
Ted?
quick to wrap things up. Charles Leclerc wins the United States Grand Prix. Sorry, too much My Hero Academia. Also, fuck Esteban Ocon.
Is that a JoJo reference?
Shut up. All my
D-rated.
homies hate Esteban Ocon.
Fuck Esteban Ocon. Yeah, we'll get to
Lap 53.
Such a shitty
No, we're
move.
getting to it right now.
No, this is fine. I kind of forgot. No.
Lap 53 pits for... Well, lap 53 was the actual lap. But I think it was like lap 50, 51, 52, something like that. Pits for softs from 18th place to get the fastest lap from Franco Colapinto.
Fuck you.
For the 1 extra point to take Franco from getting 2 points to 1 point, so that they are ahead of Alpine by 4 points. Fuck you, Esteban Ocon.
Completely ridiculous. Like I said, yeah. See, last few races, that fucking extra point. Maybe they have a point of getting rid of it because now we're just angry.
Yo.
But yeah, no, kind of a dick move. I get it's like Alpine. I don't think the one you're not the guy, pal. You're not going to be
Not
doing
that
anything.
guy.
I think Williams has got you. Yeah, no, dick move. Our number 6,000 star of the week is Esteban Ocon. Fuck that. Our negative star. Or else I should probably say that one a little careful. Can I talk about trophies now? So the trophies. Anybody notice the trophies?
They're kind of boring.
Yeah.
They're just tires.
Hey, remember when they announced the cool ass fucking trophy that most people thought were cool, but some other people were like, "Hey, is this Deadmau5 and Disney?" And also, what the fuck?
The pop vinyl.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like a chrome plated. So let's talk about it. So, this was the Pirelli branded race. Last year it was Lenovo for Austin, which makes sense. I'm pretty sure Lenovo has something in Austin.
Yeah.
Austin is like a mini tech Silicon Valley with Elon, so gross tech.
Anyways.
Anyway, so Pirelli was kind of, the main. I mean, title sponsor for the race, so kind of, in charge of that stuff. Obviously, Pirelli USA. So they had a custom little trophy made. It was a little bear, definitely Dead Mouse, Daft Punk helmet-esque.
Sort of inspired.
Yep. Also maybe a little Lego-y, maybe a little Mickey Mousey. Okay, gold, silver, I think just like white or black. I don't think it was like bronze colored. Maybe it was. I think it might have been actually yellow. Now I think, but no, I think I'm missing the gold. To get into it, so it was called Heroo, Heroo, or Heroo, by Matteo. I looked up how to pronounce it. Machiavelli.
Oh, Machiavelli.
Yep. Just because I was gonna, like I did, look at it, panic. I was like, oh wait, no, I have the phonetic. An artist from Italy worked with Pirelli on this. So yeah, it was this little bear. Get up to the podium. They give Charles this kind of like red, white, and blue kind of metal rod. Kind of looked very similar to trophies. I'm like, that's not the bear. And then they pull out the tires, like the pole position tires. I'm like, what? What is happening? Like, I think no one said anything on broadcast, probably just because we're like, cover,
Mm-hmm.
But, so it did come up after. This was from Motorsport. So 1 week, pretty much a more reputable. We always go off on our shitty, quote, journalism. Motorsport's usually pretty good. They did pull him on purpose. Allegedly because it was pointed out, which, why didn't you guys see this sooner? It went all the way through development, design, and printing, and manufacturing. It was similar, and a specific SKU, but in general to a Japanese Bear Brick brand. And it's just a little toy thing, like just a little toy. And even that is based off like Lego or Kinto block, or like, it's all kind of derivative of everything.
Right.
So they did pull those kind of quietly. The trophies they had actually were flown in from Pirelli USA headquarters. So I don't know if it's just something they had lying around or a prototype. Like, I guess we're using this and just throw some numbers on the tire, break out the little heat press, put a 2 and 3 on there. So yes. So I'm very upset. I like the Bears. I know some people are like, whatever. But I thought it was cool. I think it's a better concept than that weird thing we had in wherever that was like looked like a spirograph, kind of like weird.
Wasn't that Canada?
No, Canada was the AI trophy.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I want to say it was like Spain or something weird.
Maybe.
It was like the weird black and like overlaid kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, so very weird. But yeah, we're supposed to have bear trophies. And it got pulled because of potential copyright. And like, you're not selling them. It's 10 o'clock.
It's 10 o'clock. For those, I guess, just insight behind the scenes. I am trans. I am on estrogen. I set my time to take that estrogen at 10 and 10. And I have a little timer to go off at 10 and 10.
And it is 10.
It is actually 10:10. So my thing has been going off for 10 minutes in my pocket.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. Is what it is. I was just going to try to pull up the Spain trophy and see if that's what it was.
I don't think it was Spain. I think it was fairly... I'm pretty sure it was...
Just look up Spiral Trophy F1.
Was it really Spiral? I'm pretty sure. I'm fairly certain because it was... I think this was actually... No, I think it was also Pirelli, so it had to have been Monza for this weird concept thing. Because it was called like Burt or Speed or something weird like that. I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure Charles has that in the iconic...
wasn't it like Vroom?
Yeah, something like that. Some conceptual artist, deep art, high art bullshit. Yeah, give me the bear. I want the bear.
Trophy. In Monza, Formula 1
Okay.
goes Vroom. So yeah, it was the Monza one.
Yeah, I thought the bear was better than that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
weird shit.
Yeah, we're looking at it's like they taped a Sharpie to the back of a Roomba and let it just kind of go in circles and then 3D printed out in black, like, or carbon fiber, that pattern, and put it on a pedestal, and that was the trophy. Back in Monza, anyway.
Anyways, side tangent.
Yep. Let's get on.
7 side tangents later.
Yeah, let's get on. Let's move on to our. Let's do driver of the day. Obviously.
Driver of the day.
I voted for. Do we do? God, I feel like we're second guessing now. Whatever. Liam Lawson, Because he did good.
I also voted for Liam Lawson because he did fantastic. It definitely sounds like we tried to edit in who we put afterwards. Yep. No, we 100%. We both voted for Liam Lawson. Your driver of the day winner was Charles Leclerc.
And I feel deserved.
Yeah, absolutely was
deserved.
deserved. He did really well this weekend. I think I gave him an honorable mention. Honestly, I didn't star him, but we'll get to that. Yep. Driver of the day breakdown: Charles Leclerc won with 27.4% of the vote. Franco Colapinto second place with 16.3% of the vote. Thought it would be a little bit higher than that, but you know what? That's still quite a lot.
We take those.
We do take those at Williams. Max Verstappen got 10.1% of the vote. Carlos Sainz got 8.9% of the vote. And notably on their website, they put that Lando received 8.5. They did not say percent. They said 8.5.
8.5. He got his mom, his dad, Zach.
Will half voted for him.
It was Yuki's vote. He's my driver. I can make the joke.
Anyways, Lando with 8.5%. All other drivers receiving a combined 28.5%. Yeah. Move on to more of the award stuff. Fastest lap, of course, going to fucking Esteban Ocon with a 137.33.
Void.
Which
Colapinto.
was 0.3 greater than Colapinto's 137.61 something, I think. Esteban Ocon setting his on lap 53. Colapinto's was like in lap 40 something, I'm pretty sure. It was mid-race, like towards the end of mid-race. But yeah, he was like, "Oh, my hard tires are up to temp. Let's fucking go for it." And he fucking did it.
Hey, what's this engine mode thing do?
What does this button do? Oh, shit. This is fast. Pit stops. Fastest pit stop went to McLaren. Lando Norris, specifically a 2.21 seconds on lap 31. The slowest pit stop going to, and I put an asterisk here, going to Alpine, Pierre Gasly with a 6.99, so nice. Barely, on lap 18. Now, there were two that were slower, but one was George with Mercedes on lap 40, which was because of his penalty, and one was Williams with Alex Albon on, I didn't write the lap down.
4. Yeah,
lap 4. Very early on because of damage. He had to change out his front wing because he...
Under a SE.
Under an SE, yes. So. Which was like a 12.53 for him. I don't know why I completely butchered that little caveat area, but I also wrote it like 2 square inches. So the fact that I got that much crammed into that space is a feat of its own. So yeah. That's all of the award stuff. Stars. I do have honorable mentions. Do you have honorable mentions?
Yes, but I tied it to a number. If that makes any sense.
To a number.
Yes.
Okay. You gave him a 4th star. Okay.
No. I gave him an honorable mention for 2nd star.
Okay. Well, then we'll come back to that.
And it will make sense.
We'll come back to that. I gave a few honorable mentions this weekend. My main honorable mention I wrote down as my number 3 star and then changed my mind because I was like, never mind. Number 3 star deserves it a little bit better. Biggest honorable mention goes to Franco Colapinto. Preface: this is this man's 4th F1 race and his first F1 sprint race. He's in a Williams. So to see him this weekend finish P12 in the sprint and P10 in the race, at one point holding the fastest lap, and still in my heart does, before it being taken away by someone in P18 with much faster tires. Fuck you, Esteban Ocon. That's an amazing feat to me. So honorable mention to him. Another quick honorable mention to Oscar, just plonking along. Got 6 places up in the sprint and finished P5 in the race. And Charles Leclerc finishing P4 and P1 in the sprint and race, respectively. So, And I can lead it. You want to lead third, or you want me to lead third?
Go ahead.
All right. I'll lead that into my third star, which was Liam Lawson. Welcome back, you Kiwi. You took, you had a small stint last year, and then you took basically a year hiatus, and you came back, and you took a grid penalty of 60 places. So you're starting back from Baku, maybe Canada. You're racing with a hand-me-down car.
New engine, though.
New engine, but hand-me-down car. You then took it and finished 10 places up and in the points. I don't talk about the sprint that much, but 10 places up and in the points. Phenomenal.
And you played the team game.
You did play the team game.
And quality.
I'm actually excited to see what Liam can do this time around with the remaining 5 races. This is... Yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm excited.
Should be good. My third star is the hometown heroes of Haas. I had to give it to both of them. They both did good.
They both did great. I didn't think about putting anything for them, but they did great.
Yeah, double points finish in the sprint. Another couple points here. Where did he finish? P8? Hulkenberg?
Hulkenberg finished in the race. Nico Hulkenberg finished P8. Yes.
Yeah. So some more solid points. That's all you can want. It's a home. It is their home race ish. I mean, I guess technically, is Miami closer? It's kind of further south. I don't know.
Miami
To
would
South
definitely
Carolina.
be closer.
I guess South Carolina.
Yeah. One of those things where I think it's like technically, I think DC is closer to Austin than Austin is to El Paso or some crazy bullshit.
There's no way that's true. There's no way that specific tax.
Texas is fucking huge.
Yeah,
man.
but I guess it is kind of small states. Still.
I'll find the stat, but go on.
Well, shit.
You have more praise to give for Haas, or no?
No.
Okay, then I'll move on and I'll look it up afterwards.
I mean, they just did. I mean, they did good, but I mean, it's like they did anything immaculate in one race, but they got points. They did good for Haas. They're lowering their own expectation because they keep doing points. So
Yeah.
at a certain point, just getting points is like, okay, well, you guys do that.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. Then second star. Second star is George Russell. Which feels weird saying, but George Russell, although his actual wheel-to-wheel racing with Valtteri skills and his quality not bending it skills leave a lot to be desired. You can't not appreciate a points finish in the sprint and the insane recovery drive from a pit lane start today to finish P6, a whole 14 places above where he started. Listen, he may not be a great racer, but he is a great racer. He may not be a great driver, but he's a good racer. He can put the pedal to the floor and not lift until he sees God or a checkered flag. And I feel like that sums up George Russell to a T. Yeah.
My second star is Liam Lawson for his, going back to that, his good performance all weekend. Sprint, but still, I mean, held his own. Played the team game because, I mean, you're down 60, so. And then did 14 places, I believe. He was the same as George. So, like, your first race back, I mean, yeah, you had a little more prep time. It wasn't as, like, Colapinto was kind of like, hey, you're driving next week. Like, you're driving in 3 days. Like, Liam at least kind of, I feel like, knew a little bit. And, I mean, you talk about the contracts or whatever. You made Lightning McQueen proud.
Ka-chow.
So to my honorable mention, because I have it here, is like, I don't want to give one to George, but he did do a good recovery drive. So that's why I was like, my second place, I didn't want to do a second star with like not teammates. So that's kind of like my second star honorable mention would go to George Russell. But
Fair enough.
you do that shit in qualifying and you push off Valtteri, and I can't give you it officially, but you can get it in spirit.
In spirit. All right. And then my number one star, and I don't really have a whole lot to say about him because just sort of did good and didn't really have a whole lot going on.
Lance Stroll.
Carlos Sainz. You know what? We didn't hear a lot from Lance Stroll other than me complaining about him pitting out Esteban Ocon and it getting blamed on Alex. But Carlos Sainz, Smolid. I'm having a strong.
Isn't that the actor that like faked his own hate crime in Chicago?
That's
Salome.
Smollett.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solid, smooth operation from Carlos this weekend. I wish I had been a smooth operator there.
Sorry, allegedly.
Allegedly. Solid, smooth operation from Carlos this weekend, finishing P2 times 2, both the race and the sprint, which helps push them, Ferrari is them, pushes them even closer and within striking distance of Red Bull. They are 8 points back from Red Bull. Red Bull?
That's so little points.
That's so few points. They could have, won handily, but their second driver is Sergio Perez. Being the jerk that you were talking about earlier.
Can't keep defending you, Checo. Anyway. First star. Same as you, but a little more expanded. Both Ferrari boys deserved it.
That's fair.
Both, good races. Both had a decent sprint. Sorry. Charles had a decent sprint. Of course, Carlos had a great sprint. Both had a great Grand Prix. It was good. It was a smooth operation and whatever Charles's thing is. Leo.
Yes!
Why am I so unlucky?
Why am I so unlucky?
It's just an incident. Whatever.
Just, God.
Yep. Ferrari. Everybody was going yeah, I think Ferrari's a big competition. I think everybody's yeah, whatever. I guess they actually knew what they were talking about.
Yeah. Ferrari
Charles, of course, continuing his winning at IMS. Monaco, Monza, America, baby.
Woo! Yeah.
Can't wait for Mexico City.
Mexico City. Oh my God. What all do we have left? It's Mexico City, Mrza.
Interlagos, the Las Vegas MRIP, Makar, and Mrabi. Having a stroke.
Both having strokes. It is indeed not toast that's being toasted in the next room. Please help us. So that wraps up the stars. On to the long section of this. So I'm going to try to sprint through the rundown because I'm having to go through 2 of them and because I need to get to more important stuff. So, your rundown for the Austin Sprint is as follows. Max Verstappen started P1, finished P1. Carlos Sainz finished P2, gained 3 places. Lando Norris finished P3, gained 1 spot. Charles Leclerc finished P4, lost a spot. George Russell finished P5, lost 3 spots. Lewis Hamilton finished P6, gained 1 spot. Kevin Magnussen finished P7, gained 1 spot. Nico Hulkenberg, I forgot his last name for a second, don't judge me, finished P8 and lost 2 spots. Sergio finished P9 and gained 2 spots, excuse me. Good job, Sergio. Didn't finish in the points, though. Good job. Oscar Piastri finished P10, gained 6 spots. Good job to him. Yuki Tsunoda finished P11, lost 2 places. Franco Colapinto finished P12, lost 2 places. Lance Stroll finished P13, didn't move. Pierre Gasly, P14, lost 2 places. Esteban Ocon finished P15, gained 2 places. Liam Lawson finished P16, lost a place. Alex Albon finished P17, gaining 3. Fernando Alonso finished P18, losing 4. Zhou Guanyu finished P19, losing none. And Valtteri Bottas finished P20, losing 2. On to the Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc finished P1, gained 3 places. Carlos Sainz finished P2, gained 1 place. Max Verstappen finished P3, lost a spot. Lando Norris, after his 5-second penalty for leaving the track, finished P4, lost 3 places. Oscar Piastri stayed right where he was, finished P5. George Russell finished P6, amazing recovery drive, 14 places gained. Sergio Perez finished P7, gained 2 places. Nico Hülkenberg finished P8, gained 3 places. I remembered it that time. Liam Lawson finished P9, gained 10 places. Again, amazing recovery. Franco Colapinto, P10, gained 5 places. Good job. Kevin Magnussen finished P11, lost 3. I think everyone else from this point lost places. So, Kevin Magnussen, P11, lost 3. Pierre Gasly, 5-second penalty for leaving the track, gaining an advantage. P12, lost 6. Everyone below this point is a lap down. Fernando Alonso finished P13, lost 6 places. Yuki Tsunoda, 5-second penalty for forcing another driver off the track, finished P14, losing 4 places. Lance Stroll finished P15, losing 2. Alex Albon finished P16, losing 2. Valtteri Bottas finished P17, losing 1. Esteban Ocon finished P18, losing 6. Did get the fastest lap.
Fuck you.
P19 is Zhou Guan Yu, losing 1. And Lewis Hamilton did not finish, so by default goes into the 20th slot, losing 3 places. Now, on to something that I kind of forgot to do last week. So last week was the 3/4 way mark, and we were supposed to do a check-in because I did it at the quarter mark and at the halfway mark. Didn't do that. So we're going to try to get through this as quickly as possible because we're already sitting at an hour and 12 minutes on the recording. Maybe a little bit different from what you get because a little bit of editing, but we're already sitting at an hour and 12 minutes. But I will try to get through this as quick as possible. So, the grid for the Drivers' Championship. Your top 5 is really all that we're concerned with. Everyone below that point is out of the race for P1. So Lewis did get knocked out this week. I think George also got knocked out this week. Yes, Lewis and George both got knocked out this week alone. So your top 5 are Max, Lando, Charles, Oscar, and Carlos are the only 5 that can win the championship this year. Carlos Sainz has 2 win by points. He only has 1 win, so he can't win by countback. So his point cutoff is 209 instead of everyone else's 208. He is sitting at 215, so he is barely in it. But he does have 215 points. He's 32 points down from Oscar ahead of him. Oscar has the most interesting countback scenario. So if, for whatever reason, Max just doesn't win any more races, he just completely loses the last 5 races, and Oscar goes on to win every single race. I guess it would probably have to be all the people ahead of him as well, although Charles is debatable. So Oscar would win by countback because that would put him at 7 wins, which ties with Max at 7 wins. Both of them have 4 P2 finishes. Both of them have 1 P3 finish. Max has 1 P4 finish. Oscar has 5 P4 finishes. He is very consistent.
Consistently off the podium.
Consistently off the podium, but he's very consistent. And I like that about them. Go Oscar. But yeah, no, he's sitting at 247 points, 28 down from Charles Leclerc, who is at 275 points, who is 22 points down from Lando Norris, who is sitting at 297 points, who is 57 points down from Max Verstappen at 354. If Lando or Charles were to win every race, they just win as long as, Max loses by points or whatever. Just off of countback. Like, they have more P2 or something else for Charles. I'm not sure what it was for Charles, but yeah, sorry. My mental state's fading. We're at an hour and 15 minutes, so I'm losing it. Anyways, Lewis is just outside. Well, he's more than just outside. He's 38 points down from Carlos, who's barely in it as it is. So Lewis is at 177. George beneath him is at 167. So 10 points back. Sergio's at 150, so 17 back. Nando just drops off the face of the earth. Fernando is at 62 points. So he is 88 points back from Sergio. So yeah, no. Good luck. Nico Hulkenberg is sitting at 29 points, and he does cement his place ahead of Lance, because I think last week they were tied, basically. But he won on countback. But no, he is fully ahead of him now, and he is only 33 points behind Fernando. Lance Stroll, P11, is at 24 points, only 5 back from Nico. Yuki Tsunoda is at 22 points, 2 back from Lance.
Hey, that's his number.
That is his number. Is it going to stay there? Or is he actually going to do something? You tell me that. Tell me if he's actually going to do something. In the meantime, my driver
hope so.
is worse off. Alex Albon, P13, is at 12 points. He is 10 down from Yuki. Daniel Ricciardo is at P14 and will probably stay there or lower with 12 points. So tied, but loses on countback with Alex. Kevin Magnussen is at 8 points and is 4 back from Daniel/Alex. Pierre Gasly is at P16 at 8 points as well. Ollie P17 with 7 points. He may show back up. We don't know. Franco Colapinto is at P18 at 5 points, tied with Esteban, but does beat him by countback. So, fuck you, Esteban Ocon, who is in P19. He actually dropped because of that. Like, they swapped places from that. Esteban also has 5 points, but yeah, loses on countback. Liam Lawson immediately catapults himself up 3 places in the standings to be P20 in a 23 driver grid. Has 2 points. Is down 3 from Esteban. And Zhou Guanyu, Logan Sargent, and Valtteri Bottas all have 0 points. So they are all 2 points behind Liam. For the teams.
And that order is correct. Valtteri is, unfortunately, actually 23rd.
Yeah. 23rd on an actually 20-car grid. For your teams, it's just your top 4. It's McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes. So McLaren sitting at 544 in first place. Red Bull is in second place with 504 and are down 40. Ferrari are in third place at 496, or 8 points down from Red Bull. Mercedes in fourth are 344 points, and they are... How many is that? 152 points down from Ferrari. So realistically...
Wow. That's quite large.
Unless a nuclear blast were to somehow selectively take out McLaren, Red Bull, and Ferrari, but somehow leave Mercedes, they're pretty much out of it. The cutoff is 294. They're at 344, but that will disappear very quickly. Aston Martin's in P5 with 86 points. P6 is Haas, who did move up against AlphaTauri. They are now AlphaTauri, apparently,
officially.
because of Alonso.
Fernando and the race program, I guess, allegedly as well.
Yeah, allegedly, yeah. We don't know. That might have been a Photoshop, but supposedly. Haas moved up a place into P6 at 38 points. AlphaTauri at 36. Williams has 17 points. I don't know if... I did the number correct. I just didn't... No, okay. Both of those numbers should be correct. They're at 17. Alpine is at 13 points in P9. And Sauber are at P10 with 0 points. It's just going to be a new shitty team every time I have to mention them. I literally searched up worst F1 team.
I thought you said Zaxby, so I was very confused.
It's Zach Speed. Zakspeed. Never heard of him? Yeah, exactly.
Zach Brown?
Maybe. This was back in the days when you could advertise tobacco on cars. So that explains a lot.
Back when you could. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Velo.
Back when you could do it out in the open.
Tangent, sorry. Velo's still open. Like, that's the weird thing about, or I guess one thing, every race has its own little advertising rules, is America and Mexico have you have to put your tobacco can cause cancer, blah, blah, blah thing. So it's on front and center on the Velo on McLaren. So, anyway.
Fair enough.
or Views, whichever one it is.
Yeah.
Views or Velo, whatever one. One was last year, one was
They're
this year.
also apparently, I learned today, sponsored by Mission, the company that does like the Hispanic foods, like tortillas.
I say the white people tacos.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was just front and center on whoever it was as Halo that I saw. I was like, wow, okay, that's very weird to just see. But yeah, back off of the tangent. That's it. That is our check-in. We have 5 drivers in the championship battle. We have 4 teams. So, yeah. And we might have 3 in a couple of weeks if fucking Mercedes does not get their act together. That's all I got.
Checo will need a good race next week. That's all we're going to say.
Yeah.
Checo is going to need a good home race.
Yeah. Good home race. Yeah, we see how that happened last year.
Yeah.
Very good home race.
He almost killed like 2 people. I forgot. That's that race, isn't it? Jeez.
He flew so high.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. It's Mexico City.
Mexico City. High altitude, high stakes. Is it stake that week, or is it kick? That's a good question for next week.
Yeah. I think it's stick. I think, well, that's the thing. So, like, I don't know if, I remember the last thing, McLaren did not have OKX. They had OXO or OXXO or however you would say that. So, but I don't know if that was just a regional because that's, that's a Mexico and now Southern Texas convenience store, and I think further in Central America as well. But I don't know. We'll see. That is, I don't think we have too much rambles.
I'm completely rambled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yappers. Completely yapped. Yep. Mexico City. And then, do we have a week off between Interlagos? I think we do.
Do we?
I'm pretty sure we do.
It's time to fill time while I find. Actually, you can
get it up
look it
super
up, and I will
fast.
tell you the
We do
geography
not.
thing. Okay.
It is triple header.
Fair enough.
Brazil.
The geography fact was the other way around. It's closer to from El Paso to Los Angeles than it is from El Paso to Houston.
Okay, that one I can. Oh, here's how I'll end it. The stat that always makes people angry. That is a stat I like. Reno, Nevada is further west than Los Angeles.
It is indeed. It seems stupid, but that is indeed correct.
For more geography facts, join us for our new spin-off podcast, Geography Facts SQ. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, as my timer goes off again. Yeah, I'm done. Peace.
See ya. Oh, yeah, sorry, hockey's back. Let's go, Stars.
Preds, why?
Follow the pod everywhere at DSQ Pod. And follow the crew at Medic50 and at GoaluCody30.